And so the final, Purdue 80, Iowa State 76. This despite the fact that the Cyclones went on a 23-8 run late in the second half to make this a lot more uncomfortable than the Boilermakers would have liked. Caleb Swanigan, 3 assists shy of a triple-double. Vince Edwards, a man-sized double-double with 21 and 10 as the Boilers advanced to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2010. Purdue joins Wisconsin in the Sweet 16. Badgers knocked off #1 overall seed defending national champ Villanova earlier in the day on Saturday, and that is going to lead to a lot of discussion about the last topic that Matt Painter addressed, the Big Ten and what was considered a subpar regular season for the conference, now proving to maybe be slightly less than true after what we're seeing in the postseason.
Well, Rick, on Selection Sunday, you and myself and Mike DeCourcy talked about the fact, how is Wisconsin a #8 seed? And I think they've shown themselves extremely well. Regardless, they did not deserve an 8 seed. They deserve far higher, regardless of the outcome of the Villanova game. And you kind of feel a little bit badly for Villanova that on your run,
question,
that you have to face this team in the second round. This is a very good Wisconsin team, but I think to what Coach Painter was talking about, it really speaks to the depth of the league. You don't have a team like Wisconsin 2 or 3 years ago that was going to be a Final Four participant. Really, everyone kind of knew coming into that year.
With multiple pros playing on the team.
Correct, exactly. But both of these squads, the one that won today in Wisconsin and also Purdue, the one thing that they also have in common, extremely unselfish, and this is the key word, team. One stat hops out to you. Purdue did a lot of great things tonight. Nothing better than sharing the basketball. 31 made field goals for the Boilermakers, 27 coming via the assist. 7 of those assists from my vote, if I had one for Player of the Year, Caleb Swanigan. That kind of tells you the story.
A mind-boggling number. And for Purdue, this was a big obstacle to overcome because we've seen leads lost late in games, critical games in the postseason in the last couple of years on several different occasions. In this one, it got to that point where Iowa State came back, tied. I'm not sure if they actually went up by 1 late, if I recall, but Purdue found a way to respond time and time again. And who knows what kind of dividends that could pay for the Boilermakers as they move on in this tournament.
And unlike last year when they were knocked out by Little Rock, the run that was made by Iowa State was a little bit different in this regard, Rick, in that Iowa State really spread the floor and then just made some tremendous individual plays. Last year against Little Rock, Purdue shot themselves in the foot. It was turnovers which allowed the Trojans of Little Rock to come all the way back. That was not the issue tonight for Purdue. That has been the area that they focused on all year. They tidied that up, and it was reflected in the fact that against a very athletic Iowa State squad, they only had 10 miscues. So they didn't have necessarily the mental baggage to overcome as Iowa State was making that run, because Iowa State hit some tough shots, unlike a year ago when they gave up a lot of easy points to the Trojans in that upset loss.
A really cleanly played game for a game that wound up 80-76. Purdue with just 10 turnovers. Iowa State only turned it over 7 times, and that's remarkable for a team that likes to get up and down the court the way the Cyclones do. At day's end, Purdue advancing into the Sweet 16. Boilermakers will face the winner of Kansas, Michigan State.